Hello and welcome to WIN Stadium. It's a slightly cooler evening tonight with a bit of wind as well. The Wolves hosting Sydney Olympic tonight. Both teams struggling to put a consistent run of results together so far this season, both sitting outside the finals places. Important 3 points on the line. Well, good evening and welcome to Wynn Stadium here in Wollongong for round 18 of the NPL Men's New South Wales as Wollongong Wolves host Sydney Olympic. Well, despite the promise these teams have shown on occasion in 2025, they both find themselves outside of the finals places heading into tonight. So a win either way will offer a much-needed set of 3 points to push up the table. My name is Tim Gibson. Let's have a look at the teams. Starting with the Wolves, Daniel Solsky continues as the goalkeeper. Number 2, Harrison Bunel. 4, Dylan Ryan. 5 is Banri Kanaizumi. 8 is Sebastian Duarte. 9, Damon Gray. 17 is Marcus Beattie. 21, Nicholas Olsen. 25, Alex Mashivecchio. 29, Ben Geisen. Number 77, Raphael Liai. And over to Sydney Olympic. Number 1 is Jack Gibson in goal. 5 is Ziggy Gordon. 9, Cyrus Demi. 10, Jack Armson. 11 is Adam Parkhouse. 12 is Zach Zoricic. 14, Seth Clark. 17, Joshua Hong. 18, Teng Kuo. 22, Dylan Ruiz Diaz. And number 28 is Donny Grudich. Matt Staples is our referee tonight, and the Wolves are set to get us underway in this one, playing in their red, while Sydney Olympic in the blue and white stripes. And that's kick-off here under the lights at Wynn Stadium, with both teams chasing an essential 3 points in their battle to get into those finals places. They've certainly produced results, both of these teams, that are worth taking note of, but the consistency of that has been lacking. There's Olympic with a neat move down the right-hand side here and a chance to get something into the box by Adam Parkhouse, I think that was, but all taken away. Olympic still with it, though. Here's Zach Zoricic. Well, Olympic's last 5 results is a picture of that inconsistency. We have seen a 4-0 smashing in round 14 against Sydney United. A big win for Olympic in that one, but that was followed up with back-to-back defeats against Apia and then St George FC. As we see them win it again in midfield, and a chance for Cyrus Demi to run in behind. Able to get a shot off and rolls it just past that right post. A good early chance for the visitors, and it's been a positive start in the first couple of minutes. Not lost in either of their last 2 games. A round 8 catch-up 3-0 win in midweek last week against Central Coast, where they played some really nice stuff. Cyrus Demi was having a phenomenal game, particularly goal-scoring wise. And then a disappointing 1-1 draw with the Western Sydney Wanderers last weekend, but again they pick it up in midfield with some space. Seth Clark finds it wide to Parkhouse. Here's Clark again. Was a big contributor in that win over Central Coast. There's Donny Grudich, who can find Zach Zoricic with a nice turn to get away from Damon Gray and can move towards the box, but cut out. Here's Olsen and a loose touch. Worth mentioning for the Wolves, they still have several injuries to key players. Still no Lachlan Scott. Was kicking the ball around though in the warm-up, which is a positive sign. Darcy Madden, who picked up that nasty head knock last weekend, is sidelined as well, and still no Sebastian Hernandez, the dynamic winger, who remains unavailable. Nice ball for Cyrus Demi. Just to go past Bunal, but Kanaizumi was aware of it. Interesting to note for the Wolves that Sebastian Duarte is playing in midfield as see Olympic come forward through Clark, who does get that shot away, and Solski with a good catch. As I was mentioning, Duarte started, I think, 2 previous games with the Wolves in first grade, and he's both at left back, but he's been moved into midfield as the Wolves look to shuffle it around in there with Marcus Beattie, who's started to play a bit deeper than his normal winger or attacking midfield position, although he has also played at fullback, but I've seen him more on the wing in recent times. But here's Teng Kuol, who's escaped the attentions of those Wolves defenders, and there's a huge pocket of space in midfield. The point in terms of the Wolves midfield that I think is worth making is that they do have 2 perhaps more established midfielders in Wim Subsim and James Anagnostopoulos, both sitting on the bench. Here's Damon Gray. Oswald to keep hold of it, and you can find Kanaizumi. Wide for Ryan. Mastrivecchio, nice dummy for Olsen. Looks as if Mastrivecchio will play more centrally up front with Olsen, Liai and Gray on either wing. So, bit of a reshuffle for the Wolves given their availability issues at the moment. Also been struggling with consistency. The Wolves just 1 win in their last 5. That 3-0 win against Marconi, but it seems a bit of an anomaly when you look at their recent results. They backed that up with 2 defeats at home without scoring to Blacktown and then Apia, and then were denied by a late equaliser against St George City last weekend to draw 1-1. Dyson towards Olsen, who can't quite hold on to it, with Kuol making a couple of attempts at tackling and getting it right on the second one. Here's Ryan towards Liai. Puts it into the air. Here is Daniel Solski, who's not kept a clean sheet in any of his last 3 games, but has been the starting goalkeeper for the Wolves for a while now, after replacing Oliver Yates, who's been stuck on the bench after starting the season as the goalkeeper of choice for Coach Warren Grieve. But here's Olsen to clip a ball towards that right of the box, but Damon Gray had made a narrow run spin, and it will fall to Marcus Beattie. Geisen, Damon Gray can't get that touch. Geisen will end up losing the ball, and Olympic have more space in midfield. Zoricic will latch onto this. Cyrus Demi looked to roll his way in to a shooting position, but his route to goal is blocked. Well, for Sydney Olympic, 6 wins from their 17 games, which is mirroring the sort of inconsistency that we've seen from them over the past few years. Capable of results at times, but not able to produce them regularly enough to get back up into those final places under this Labano Haliti project. They've also been full of goals on occasions. Scored 3 or more on 5 separate times, which is a pretty good record by that standard. So they are capable of putting goals on the board. Jack Gibson on the ball now, the former Western Sydney Wanderers goalkeeper. 6 clean sheets for him this season, and has been Olympics' main goalkeeper since signing on at the start of this year. Towards Maschivecchio, but Kroll, who's seen the ball on several occasions and breaking it up in midfield. A ball towards Clark, who's flagged offside. Just a point between these teams heading into tonight. In the Wolves in 10th and Olympic in 11th. Of course, Olympic did lose those 3 points through a deduction. That means they would actually be a little bit closer to that finals battle than they are at the moment. Maschivecchio on the ball again. starting to pick up some safe possession, the Wolves, in this game, as we head towards the 15-minute mark in this one. There was just the one early shot for Olympic that Solski was forced to save. That's an awkward one that Dylan Ryan nodded around his own goalkeeper, but ends up clearing the danger anyway. As Clark, whose directness can be so difficult to handle, and it's a really awkward one that Dylan Ryan looped towards his own goalkeeper. The second time that Solski and Ryan have been on different wavelengths in that way. Here's Duarte, the youngster who's in his third start of the NPL season in first grade. Olsen, but again his touch evades him. Unal with a header, and Geisen can launch that into the Olympic half. Duarte. Nice feet to get around Armson, and Duarte can keep going. Overhit for Olsen. Armson on the ball. Armson with the ball over the top for Demi, who's in behind. Ken Izumi chasing back, and these two got something to help Solski out. There's a few times now that direct ball in behind for Olympic has produced a chance. Few loose touches for the Wolves in these early minutes. Here's Ruiz Diaz. Given away, and Beatty can find Olsen. Olsen for Liai. Let off for Olympic after their giveaway. Back to Gibson. Unal's header is not ideal, and Dyson will have to deal with that. Beatty, neat flick. Here's Olsen. Finds Duarte. Olsen picks it up again. 1-2 with Beatty, but not able to make anything of it with Grudic into intercept. Here's Qual. Nice ball. Parkhouse can try to get around the outside, but Ken Izumi was covering again. Michael Vacas on the bench today for Olympic after featuring with plenty of starts this season, so a good option off the bench for the away side. Olsen will get this ball into the box. Plenty of targets for aiming at, and it's a nicely whipped ball towards Dylan Ryan, and that was looping awkwardly for Jack Gibson, but he gets hold of the ball anyways. Rich can play it into Clark. That's a giveaway, and Marcus Beattie can race forwards for the Wolves. It's blocked, but it'll come to Raphael Liai, who tries something acrobatic. Well, that was another giveaway from Olympic, and it's something that we have been susceptible to this year, which is those giveaways. I recall a game against Apia, the 2-0 defeat, where I think both goals were a result of misplaced back passes. So that is certainly something the Wolves can look to exploit. With a header towards Mascivecchio. Mascivecchio has somehow come away with the ball, and Zoricic with a firm challenge, but did get contact on the ball. Here's Clark for Demi. Duarte gets back to intercept. As Diaz can find Qual. Ryan with an important intervention as Geisen battles for the ball. Towards Cyrus Demi, and that'll be a corner kick. Demi is one of the important players to this Olympic front line. He's got 14 this year across all competitions, and he's in some great form as well at the moment outside of that, with 3 goals in his last 2 matches. Already had a couple of sniffs at goal as well in this game. There's Parkhouse with a delivery that's cleared by Geisen, only as far as Ruiz Diaz, who goes for a volley that's blocked. Parkhouse brings it down nicely. Back for Clark. Armson tries a 1-2 with Clark, but Ryan was on top of it. Duarte. Chance for the Wolves with space on the right. Here comes Olsen through the middle of the pitch. Mascivecchio to his right. Mascivecchio back in, and Damon Gray's effort is blocked. Gray back to Duarte, and Olsen will pick it up on the left-hand side now. Weaves his way, but he'll go for a throw-in. For Ken Izumi as the Wolves again pick up some settled possession. BT towards Mascivecchio. Nice flick around the corner. And a strong challenge from Mascivecchio. Plenty of tenacity from Vecchio after his goal last week. Naizumi with the ball towards Liai. Real firmness to the way the Wolves have played in the last few minutes. Can find Solsky on the ball. It's a nice pass towards Ryan. Here's Liai. Looks to go around the fullback there, but Josh Hong was able to deal with that, and Ryan's got it back though. Chance to pick a pass forward, finds Gray. There's Gray who can drive forward and find Olsen on the left. Olsen to Beattie, back to Olsen, and that'll be a corner for the Wolves. Olsen comes across to take this corner. Nice ball from Duarte towards Kanaizumi. It's looped up, but Gibson does get a catch on it and goes down. It will require treatment. It did look an awkward fall. Do have several attacking weapons in this team. Sydney Olympic, Seth Clark, who's picked up 8 goals so far this season and has seen plenty of the ball as well in this game so far. Jack Armson, another who's not produced the goal-scoring numbers that he is capable of, that he did show on when he was at Apia over the last couple of years, where he scored nearly 30 goals across the 2 seasons. Just 2 goals so far, although he did find the net last weekend against the Western Sydney Wanderers in that draw. A draw which was their 5th of the season. Which is the second most of any team in the competition, and the only team who's drawn more games is the Wolves, with 6 from their 17. So the draw is looking a likely result tonight if what we've seen from these teams is anything to go by. For Clark to try and get onto, but Bunal is across. Vecchio finds Geisen. Armson gets a touch of it. Tried further evidence to potential for a draw this evening. In round 3 of this year, it was also a 0-0 draw. So remains to be seen if these teams can break their habit of drawing this evening. As Diaz sees his cross blocked, as Cyrus Demi will look to hold on to it. Back with Ziggy Gordon. Nice. Here's Demi. As Diaz gives it up. And Mashivecchio can go the other way. Olsen. Olsen finds Liai. Mashivecchio. For Olsen. That's a corner. Player down for Olympic. He needs to be up and moving now. Olsen. Duarte. That was a fierce half volley from outside the box, but lacked the direction to trouble the Olympic goal. Gibson with a chance to get it up the field. Dyson towards Gray, who's unable to hold on to it, and Armson can find Parkhouse. For Hong. Tried to find Clark, but it's cut out. Armson for Parkhouse. Here's Clark. Clark. Parkhouse, who's with Diaz, but that shot's blocked. Half an hour gone and a lack of any real substantial chances so far. And some space for both teams to exploit, but no real shots taken on. Olsen, and that was a nice turn from Damon Gray, and that will result in a caution for Ziggy Gordon, who was out of position and dragged back the forward. Is central enough and far enough out for Olsen to think about a shot. An important moment for him to stand up here. He does go for goal and wasn't too far away at all. Gibson with a palm over the bar. And a good last couple of minutes for Olsen. He was the man to flick the ball around the corner for Gray to result in that free kick, and then stepped up with a good free kick as well. So see what he can do from this delivery. It's a short one, but it's come all the way through. And bobbles wide from Ben Geisen. It was a flat delivery from Olsen, but it came right across the box. Fell back to Geisen. He prodded just wide. Positive stuff for the Wolves. Zoricic with a throw-in. Gets up again. Minutes to go in this first half, at least in terms of regular time. Duarte for Lei. Here's Beatty towards Bunel. Beatty on for Duarte. Kanazumi can find it wide for Ryan. They've worked this well, the Wolves, and can come forward. Duarte, touch given away, and Clark can take it the other way, and Cyrus Demi, who's looked to get him behind on plenty of occasions. That ball, though, a little too straight for the striker to make anything of it. Olsen. Lovely feet from Olsen to create a chance, and Kroll with a late challenge with the Wolves. Still have it, but they've given it away now. Kroll on the ball. Luis Diaz. Demi. Nice hold up to find Seth Clark. Luis Diaz. Drives inside, but gives it up, and it'll be a free kick though for Sydney Olympic. Standing over this one. Not a great deal of players to be aimed at, and they do take it short for Clark. Wide for Parkhouse, who's flagged offside. Vecchio. Just cut out by Gibson. Parkhouse finds Hong. Here's a bit of space for Zoricic to utilise down the left. Here's Zoricic, moves inside. Great hit, but a superb double save from Daniel Solski. It wasn't the tidiest of saves with the first one. Carrying it straight into the path. I think it was Cyrus Demi, but that second save was really good in the context of the first. Clark mazed his way into that right channel of the box, but fires it over. Parkhouse to get down the right. Finds Clark. Back out to Clark, but Ryan gets a header away. Qual. Hong on it now. Luis Diaz. Bit of a careless shank through midfield, and Olsen can pick it up. Liai is making a great run and right on the cusp of getting into a good shooting position. Olsen chooses to take it himself. Here's Vecchio. Finds Olsen. Duarte will pick it up and is nudged off the ball. Clark can come away with it. Beatty and back to Ryan. Volcic wins his header and Liai will retrieve the ball for the Wolves. Beatty. Through the legs of Qual, but Qual was aware to pick up the ball. It was Diaz. And that should be a Wolves throw-in, and it is. Duarte for Geisen. Here's Bunel. Izumi. Ryan finds Vecchio. Olsen comes across to take this set piece. Vecchio for Duarte. Under pressure from Demi, but nice turn. Floats it towards the back post, but Kuol will deal with that, and maybe a goal kick, but he stayed down here, holding the midfielder. With a goal kick just short of halfway. Duarte heads it towards Damon Gray. Good battle, and Zoricic will clear it away. Olsen will get a late set piece. I think it's just the one additional minute to be played. Olsen with the ball in that just sort of hit Dylan Ryan. In fact, it will be 3 additional minutes at the end of this half. So there was that injury delay for Jack Gibson. Here's at Liai. Neat feet from Liai, and can find Olsen into the box. A prodded effort that was always spinning wide, but it was close. Vecchio finds Gray. Gray for Duarte. Vecchio. Line up a shot, but it's blocked by Liai. Duarte will retrieve the ball. And that looked like a trip, but it's not given. And that'll be a free kick against the Wolves. A frustrating 15 seconds or so. If you recall, the Wolves conceding a similar penalty against, I think it was Apia here, where Geisen tripped up Rory Jordan in the box. It was similarly innocuous, but was given the other night. Not on this occasion, though, for Duarte. Nice ball to find Vecchio, and Liai and Gray with the ball between them, and Liai goes down, but nothing given again for the Wolves. That one looked less clear. Just running down the clock, it seems now, Olympic, to get into half time. 10 or so seconds left of this half. Clark wins it. Ruiz Diaz. Still going, Ruiz Diaz. And that'll be half time. Still 0-0 here at Wynn Stadium between the Wolves and Sydney Olympic. We'll be back in around 10 or so minutes time for the second half. Well, we're back for the second half here at Wynn Stadium. Still 0-0 between the Wolves and Olympic. Just having a look back at those first half chances. There were plenty for Olympic, particularly Cyrus Demi, who came close on a couple of occasions as well as Diaz plays this ball into the box. Armson, neat touch to set up a shot and rolls it off the post, but Demi makes no mistake on the second effort, and Olympic have the lead within the first 30 or so seconds at the start of this second half. Lovely play from Jack Armson on the edge of the box with the spin and the turn to allow him to get that shot off. A really nice touch that came crashing off the post, and Cyrus Demi kept his composure. Managed to prod a neat finish home, so Olympic with the lead. In the first minute of this second half, that's some start. Olsen weaves his way through a couple of challenges. Phenomenal touch from Armson to set up that chance, and then there's Cyrus Demi to fire the ball home. Should note no changes that I can see at half-time. The same 11 players for each team out there again to start the second half. Clark with spaces. The Wolves still seem to be in the sheds. Terrible time to concede. That's a great ball from Ryan, straight to Damon Gray, and Geisen can take it forward. Geisen for Mashivecchio. Olsen. Olsen does get the shot away, but deflects into Jack Gibson's gloves. The Olympic technical staff were still getting back to their seats when that goal went in. 30 seconds into the second half. Went to try and catch Solski off his line, but was always going wide. Bunal on it now. Wilson for Mashivecchio. Free kick to the Wolves. Continues Demi's good run of form. That's his 4th goal in his last 3. Looks set to hit that 20-goal landmark this season if he carries on the way that he's been scoring recently. On 15 now. Bunal for Olsen. This could be an issue for the Wolves. Here's Demi. Cyrus Demi goes past Kanizumi and Bunal. Here's Demi. Straight at Solski. Demi, who looked to have stolen in behind, but a foul on Kanizumi. Finds Beatty. Ball wide for Geisen, and Liai has some space at the back post. Finds Olsen, who's flagged offside. Qual. Nice flick, but Dyson was aware. Set piece for Sydney Olympic to potentially profit from to get themselves 2-0 up in this one. Which will be a more comfortable lead. In saying that, the Wolves haven't created a great deal. Armson. The ball was aimed towards the back post, but no one was making the run. They haven't scored at Wind Stadium since that match against St George City. Right at the start of the season, the last couple of games they've played here have been scoreless defeats. From their perspective at least, the loss to Blacktown City and then to Apia as well. Free kick for the Wolves and a chance to get the ball into the box again. There's Olsen's delivery, an in-swinging ball. Olsen, and it comes through to Dylan Ryan, who's on an offside position. Looking at the Wolves bench, a couple of potential options. William Ball and Lucas Trojcevski. In terms of attackers, Anagnostopoulos and William Subsim as well, but they're more midfielders. And then Dax Kelly, the defender, and Oliver Yates, the goalkeeper. So a couple of options if they do want to change things. Perhaps not the most experienced, but you could say that about the team they've got out there at the moment as well. Vecchio, who picked up his 5th goal of the season last weekend. Izumi for Ryan. Lei scoops it around the corner, but Clark. Duarte picks it up and Beattie can't hold on to it. For Duarte, here's Beattie. Geisen will have to battle for that and loses out. Demi on it. Biggie Gordon goes for a long switch of play towards Zoricic. Here's Armson. Qual. Dyson cuts that one out towards Parkhouse. Demi brings it down in the box. Clark. Here's Diaz. Demi and chance for Qual, and it's bundled over, but Qual looked to be in an offside position. Lei looks to hold it up, but there's nothing on, and there appears to have been something off the ball between Cyrus Demi and Banri Kanaizumi. Unclear what that is at this stage and whether anyone saw it. A serious reaction from the Wolves players around that incident, and looks as if treatment will be required for the Wolves captain. to be a conversation with the fourth official who may have seen the incident. A yellow card. I think this is Cyrus Demi. Off the ball incident that seems to be unclear what's happened. With the yellow card. Here's Liai. Liai, who hasn't found the net since early April for the Wolves. He's on the bench against St George City. Ryan finds Bunal. Here's Marcus Beattie. Vecchio. Here's Rafael Liai. Tuck takes it away, but he slides in to keep it. Olsen with a volley. Bounces wide of the right post. And that's probably the best the Wolves have created in this second half and comes just after the hour mark. And it looks as if Olympic will be preparing their first change. Olsen. Demi's snatched the ball and can play it forwards for Ruiz Diaz. And it's 2-0 Olympic. Well, it was a quick breakaway and a good finish as well to slide that under. Daniel Solsky, who may be slightly disappointed given it wasn't too far away from him. Eighth goal of the season for Dylan Ruiz Diaz. And it's his first one since about mid-April. So a welcome goal for him and good goal for Olympic to get with around a third of the game to play. Not too many options for the Wolves in terms of attacking side of things. At least it will have to be one of two more inexperienced options, given the injuries for the team at the moment. Diaz. Back for Quoll, who's been a real steady presence in midfield. Armson down the line for Seth Clark. Here's Armson again with a intriguing ball, but Dyson can run away with it. Dyson for Gordon, and here's Duarte. Dyson with it again for Bunel. Given away, and here's Seth Clark. Like Woon Sub Sim will be coming on for the Wolves, as will William Ball. So they're the changes. But here's Cyrus Demi. Good save from Solski. And it'll be a free kick. Another good chance for Cyrus Demi. He could have had a hat-trick tonight. He'd taken his chances. The one goal for him so far. Here's Bunel. Vecchio. Geisen can get down this right-hand side. Still on it, Geisen. And it'll be a free kick for the Wolves. Olsen standing over it again. Away. Parkhouse to Clark. Clark and Parkhouse will cut that out. Here comes Vecchio for Olsen. Olsen down the right-hand side for the Wolves. Into the box. Olsen got all the way to the byline, but the cutback was intercepted. For Vecchio, Geisen, Duarte, Leai gives it up. Cyrus Demi can race away with the ball. Here's Demi. Touch too heavy. Clark for Armson. This is Parkhouse. Zoricic makes the run forward. That'll be a goal kick. We will now see those changes for the home side. It's Damon Gray for Liam Ball. Change in attack. And I think will be Duarte, who will be replaced by Win Sub Sim. So like-for-like changes for the Wolves.
Substitution for your Wollongong Wolves, number 9, David Gray, and number 8, Sebastian Duarte, making way for number 10, Liam Ball, and number 7, Woon Sodson.
Sub Sim has a good first introduction there. Here's Mashi Vecchio driving forward the winger. Geisen may get on the end of this, but Zoricic sliding in. Sub Sim with a throw in, and Ball will his first touches for Olsen. Liai with a shot that's blocked. Olympic also readying a change now. Bailey Callahan set to enter the fray. Izumi with a good header that bounces wide of that left post on the set piece, and we will see that change now for Olympic. Adam Parkhouse will be replaced. Bailey Callahan, 3 goals this season for the young attacker, just the one in first grade.
For City Olympic, number 11, Adam Parkhouse, making way for number 16, Bailey Callahan.
Opportunity for him to his goal tally this evening, with the Wolves chasing a 2-goal deficit at the moment. Big James and Agnostopoulos set to come on for the Wolves. Mashi Vecchio. Here's Liai. Back from Mashi Vecchio. Cut out by Qual, as it so often has been in that midfield. BT Woon Sub Sim now. Here's Bunal. The Wolves just moving the ball from side to side, looking for that chance. Liai finds Olsen. He's flagged offside. finds another header. It's impressive how many duels he does win, the centre back for the Wolves. Kanazumi. The eye for Ryan. Ryan can find Beatty. It's given up though. The first time-wasting warning from referee Matt Staples for Olympic. Here's Armson. Not too much on it for Cyrus Demi. Change for the Wolves. And Raphael Liai, who will come off, and James Anagnostopoulos.
Number 77, Raphael Liai, making way for number 6, James Anagnostopoulos.
They'll have to rejig the formation a little bit. I think it will be Marcus Beatty to go a touch higher up from his midfield position. And Agnostopoulos to play in midfield alongside Wu Sub-Sim. Seth Clark with this ball in. Good ball and a chance for Olympic. They will knock it long and aim towards Dylan Ryan. Again, a second goal kick from Solsky goes straight out. Hong. There is Diaz, who found the second goal and finds the first goal scorer, Cyrus Demi. Hong. Flat ball in that goes out to Zoricic on this left-hand side. Here's Armson. PT cuts it out. Regular minutes to go here. A win for Olympic would get them a little bit closer to the finals battle, if results do go their way. Given the fact they've only won 2 of their last 5, another victory here will help build that momentum up again. Gibson loses out in that exchange, and Agnostopoulos will head it forward for Ball. Ball has some space. Here's Dylan Ryan. Plays it for Olsen. Olsen off the right foot deflected. Almost wrong-footed Gibson, but the goalkeeper hadn't committed too much, so he could easily catch the ball. Demi wins the ball. Izumi wins it back, and ball can play to Mashivecchio. Nice turn from Mashivecchio. Good run from BT, but just overhit. Here's Geisen. Michael Vakis set to come on for Olympic as Olsen is down for the Wolves. And he's staying down here, Olsen, which could spell trouble for Wollongong. It'll be Lucas Trajsevski to come on as well for Wollongong. And he will need treatment here, Olsen. That'll be a significant blow for the Wolves if they lost. It is their most potent goal threat, with 9 this season. Hasn't scored in a little while, but always shows signs. Olympic will make their change. Michael Vakis coming on. Diaz, the scorer of the second goal for Olympic, to come off. A good shift for him.
Number 22, Dylan Ruiz Diaz, making way for number 7, Michael Vakis.
Sim can find Olsen. BT will retrieve the ball for the Wolves. 5 minutes of regular time to play. Still time for the Wolves to snatch something from this game. Well, they haven't shown many signs of doing so. Ryan finds ball. Ball for Mashivecchio. BT for Geisen. Quoll will retrieve the ball again, and Olympic can try to counter-attack with Clark. Izumi Here's Quoll. Solski picks up a touch for the Wolves. Here's Kanaizumi. Sub-sim. Kanaizumi, nice ball to find Olsen. Ball. Vecchio. Ryan. Find sub-sim, and here's Anagnostopoulos. Plenty of possession for Wollongong, but no chances really to mention. Here's Quoll. Thompson. There'll be an offside. Bailey Callahan for the visitors. Ryan, nice touch. Here's Dylan Ryan. Looks to find Beatty. We'll have to get that ball in first time. Bacchus gets something on the header. Bunel. Dyson. BT back for Geisen. First time ball towards Olsen, who does get a header to it, but wide of that left post. Agnostopoulos. Kanaizumi. Floating ball, but finds no one. Dyson. Ball. Find Olsen. Ball. Vecchio for Olsen. Great ball to find Geisen. Cut back towards Ryan. Cleared away by Olympic, and we're a few seconds away from finding out how much additional time. There's been a couple of stoppages with injuries, and I think it could be 5 minutes here to play, and it is. Here's Bacchus. Here's Anagnostopoulos to find ball. Ball for Beatty. Anagnostopoulos, who can get a shot away, and it's a sweet hit. It's come off both posts. It looked as if after that first post hit it was going to trickle over the line, but ended up hitting the other post and falling comfortably for Jack Gibson. That's a scare for Sydney Olympic. And a bit of hope for the Wolves. Qual. And the Wolves will win it back again. Geisen for Olsen. It's a ball in. Olsen. Dylan Ryan goes for a spectacular hit. The hit was a bit high. Again for the Wolves, they choose to put the left back up front. Seen that a few times now. Maybe a change for Olympic. Thomas Whiffen to come on. Yet to score this season, the midfielder. Perhaps coming on to settle what remains of this game. On the touchline for Olympic has not looked particularly pleased, even though his team are winning this game. That back pass just a few seconds ago caused the latest frustration for him. For Seth Clark. And Liam Ball's won that. New sub-sim. Towards Dylan Ryan. Ziggy Gordon can head that away. Unal cuts it out. Liam Ball can retrieve it. Ashiavecchio. Magnistopoulos finds Beattie. Ball in from Beattie. .30 seconds to go for the Wolves. Olsen. Geisen. Nice ball in, and Dylan Ryan heads just over. And we'll make that change. With just a few seconds left, but that won't be allowed to happen. It's full time here at Wynn Stadium. Sydney Olympic run out 2-0 winners against the Wollongong Wolves. It was Cyrus Demi within the first 30 seconds of the first half. And then a little bit later on from Dylan Ruiz-Diaz to double Olympics advantage and secure the win. I've been Tim Gibson. Thank you for tuning in.
Make sure to get your tickets now.